Good morning, Pastor Tom Donnelly, Firmly Rooted Ministries, 90 Seconds with God, and we're looking up during this 2020 coronavirus pandemic. And I don't know that there's a better day for us to look up than on Good Friday. Every single one of us, every single human being on the planet has the opportunity to look up at the foot of the cross and see Jesus dying. And then probably our next thing should be asking the appropriate question, why? And to watch how he dies, because he seems to die differently than most people. So I thought we might go through the phrases of Jesus. His first phrase on the cross, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Father, forgive them. You know, I scream all the time, of course they know what they're doing. What do you mean that they don't know what they're doing? What he's saying is, Father, be gracious to them. Be gracious to them. The next thing he says to one of the thieves that is crucified with him, who says, remember me in your kingdom. Jesus says, today you'll be with me in paradise. Jesus has been saying all along that he's a king of a new kingdom. He's been saying all along that he is bringing a new kingdom into play. And finally, this thief, at the last moment of his life, is realizing that maybe, just maybe, he was living for all the wrong reasons, and Jesus is the Messiah, the King, the one who has come to save us. And he puts his faith in him, and Jesus says, today you'll be with me in paradise. His third phrase from the cross, he is taking care of his mom, letting his mom, Mary, know how much he loves her, and that now he wants the disciple John to take care of her. But then things start to change. The Bible tells us that from the 6th hour to the 9th hour, darkness fell upon the land. And Jesus's fourth phrase on the cross, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? I want you to know that Jesus is crying a cry that you and I will never have to cry. That's our cry. We are the ones that are sinful. It's us. It's our hearts, our minds, our sinful nature, this corrupt world that we live in. But Jesus came to redeem and to save us, and he's bearing our sins, and he's bearing the punishment we deserve. And all of a sudden you hear him say the words, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? Ever thought about the fact that Jesus has been with the Father for all eternity, and that phrase right there is the only time in all of eternity, if eternity can be measured, where Jesus didn't refer to his Father as Father, but my God, why have you forsaken me? The fifth phrase on the cross is a little bit obscure because Jesus simply says, I thirst. After several attempts of giving him something to drink, he refused. But I always believe that it's because now he's finally got something he wants to say. He's got something he wants the world to hear and maybe the universe to hear. And so he finally asks for a drink so that he can clear out the passageways and make it all ready for his next phrase to be heard, which I think is the most important reason to be looking up at the crucified Christ. He says the word tetelestai. It's finished. I know it seems like an interesting thing, like, okay, I'm done, I'm dead. No, he uses a financial term. It is the idea of canceling debt. I've paid the price. Well, then that begs the question, what price? And not just paid part of it, I've paid all of it. Tetelestai is in the perfect passive tense. Jesus goes all the way back to the beginning of when Adam and Eve sinned, goes all the way to the end of time, and he bears all humanity's sins and the punishment that those sins deserve. He experienced separation from God, and he took upon himself what we deserve, and now it's finished. That means all the prophecies have been fulfilled. That means Jesus did exactly what he said he was going to do. That all those 100 messianic prophecies talking about the kind of Messiah Jesus would be, he is. He did it. Isaiah 53, that he took upon our infirmities, that he bore our sins, that the chastisement that was due us fell upon him, and by his wounds we're healed. And then finally, the seventh and last phrase recorded from Jesus on the cross: Father, into your hands I commit my spirit. My work's done. There's nothing more for me to do. And notice the return of the word Father. Man, it gives me so much hope. So on this Good Friday, in the midst of this pandemic, if you're in isolation, spend some time looking at the end of the Gospels. Spend some time looking at Jesus crucified. Look at Isaiah 53. Look at Psalm 22 and begin to absorb what really took place on this day. And by the way, have a firmly rooted Good Friday. Peace.